everyone, welcome back to our Holidays Around the World week. Today we are talking about winter solstice. Now, there are two things you can talk about when talking about winter solstice. One is the science behind it, and two is the celebrations that occur on or around that day. First, let's talk about the science. There are two solstices in a year, the winter and the summer solstice. The winter solstice is the shortest day of the year and the longest night of the year. It also is the first day of winter. In the northern hemisphere, where we live, the winter solstice occurs on December 21st or 22nd, and this is the southern hemisphere's summer solstice and first day of summer. On the winter solstice, the sun appears at its lowest point in the sky from Earth, except within the Arctic Circle, where the sun doesn't even rise. The summer solstice is the longest day of the year, and in the northern hemisphere, it's usually June 21st or 22nd. But we're talking about winter solstice. So, here are some interesting winter solstice facts. When winter solstice occurs in the northern hemisphere, it experiences its shortest day and longest night. The opposite is true when the summer solstice occurs in the northern hemisphere, experiencing its longest day and its shortest night. For days before and after the winter solstice occurs, the sun appears to stand still in the sky at its noontime elevation. Some confuse the solstice with the equinox. Both occur twice a year, but the equinox occurs when the sun is directly above the equator, or the middle of the earth. Day and night are equal in length, and the equinox marks the beginnings of fall and spring, depending on the hemisphere. The winter solstice is also referred to as midwinter, the longest night, and Yule. Throughout history, solstices have been used to time many important events each year, including the sowing of seeds for crops, mating of animals, harvesting of crops, and monitoring the reserves for winter food. The actual moment that the solstice occurs cannot be observed by amateurs because the sun moves so slowly that astronomical data tracking must be used to pinpoint the actual moment of solstice. Following the winter solstice, the days become longer while the nights begin to shorten. So if you've noticed, around these times, it gets dark really early. Well, winter solstice is going to start coming back a little bit differently. Following the winter solstice, the temperatures become colder. We always notice that. In the northern hemisphere, the coldest months are December, January, and February. While in the southern hemisphere, the coldest months are June, July, and August. During the solstice, whether it's summer or winter, the sun isn't moving. It's actually the earth tilting away from the sun. So here I have a little picture to show us exactly what that looks like. So we see this is the axis of the earth, and the center is the equator. At winter solstice, the top is pointing away. Summer solstice is pointing toward the sun, right? So since we're pointing away at winter, it's a little bit cooler than when we're pointing toward it in the summer. Now, I said there's two aspects to winter solstice. Let's look at some of the festivals and things that occur around the winter solstice. Thousands of people around the globe will herald in the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year in the northern hemisphere, with centuries-old rituals such as filling up fruit-filled bathtubs. The solstice, which falls on December 21st in 2020, marks the first day of winter. It starts the moment the northern hemisphere is pointed at its furthest distance from the sun. We just talked about that. And is considered a turning point in the year in many cultures. The sacred day is also called Yule to pagans, celebrating the birth of the new solar year. And according to a circle sanctuary, a prominent pagan group in America. Dozens of pagans and druids head to Stonehenge, an iconic site in England, to pay tribute to the sun during the solstice. So that's our first picture here. That is Stonehenge in England. This famous landmark lures thousands of visitors during the summer and winter solstices. Revelers gather at the prehistoric site of these ancient stones in Wiltshire to sing, dance, play instruments, kiss the stones, and do yoga as they wait for the sun to rise. The iconic Stonehenge is known for its precise alignment with the sun's movement and may have been a sacred place of worship and celebration for solstices for thousands of years, according to English Heritage, which manages the popular destination. So our next location is in Ireland. Here we go. Dozens of people lucky enough to be selected through the annual lottery get the chance to stand inside Newgrange Monument in Ireland and absorb the first rays of the day as they fill the ancient chambers during the winter solstice. Newgrange is a burial mound in Ireland's Boyne Valley that is over 5,000 years old. Sorry, my hand was moving. The Stone Age monument contains a 62-foot passage that leads into a chamber that is aligned with the sun as it rises during the winter solstice. According to its website, between December 19th and 23rd, around dawn, sunlight pierces through the top of the chamber and slowly illuminates the room for about 17 minutes. So they only let a certain number of people in there to celebrate the solstice. Our next location is Japan. There's our first picture here. In Japan, people traditionally soak in hot baths with the yuzu citrus fruit to welcome this winter solstice and protect their bodies from the common cold. During last year's solstice celebration, children from a local preschool shared a dip in the traditional yuzu tub at the city of Toyokoa as dozens of the yellow yuzu fruits surrounded them on the surface, according to Japan's daily newspaper. Similarly, the bath has become custom for animals in some of their local zoos. These are a couple of capybara and their 3 babies, the 2 adults and 3 babies, taking a bath with the yuzu, or the hot bath with the yuzu citrus fruits, a winter solstice celebration. So cute. Next, this one right here, is in Brighton, England. Every year on December 21st, the city of Brighton, England celebrates with a ritual called Burning the Clocks. There's a fireworks show and parade with people dressed to represent different times of the year. Then people in the city make paper lanterns from bamboo and willow paper and can go to instructional workshops if they need to help to fashion their crafts. At the end of the festival, everyone lights the lanterns on fire in a bonfire by the sea. So they have parades, fireworks, celebrating winter solstice. We have 2 more. Here's this one. Dongzi means the arrival of winter and marks the transition between days getting shorter and days getting longer. It is celebrated across China and East Asia with family gatherings that usually involve tangyujin, sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, or rice balls and dumplings. The festival is traditionally a time for family to get together, eat festive food, specifically dumplings, and try traditional recipes focusing on nourishing the body. And then finally, this is a celebration in America. Every year in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, hundreds of participants line up for the Solstice Chase bike race. Riders cover 42 kilometers or 26 miles on snow tires. In fact, organizers say it's the second largest snow bike race in the United States. After the race, bikers and residents celebrate with a community festival. So that is some of the fun ways winter solstice is celebrated around the globe. We hope you have learned something and you enjoy our day as we learn more about this winter celebration. Bye everyone!